What's up, y'all? What's poppin' with the population? Alvis Drama Kings podcast. I'm here with my mains, mans, Kenneth and Joe. Shout out to him, Kenneth. Tell him what's
what
up.
What it do? Kenneth, what's going down? You know,
Joe Banks. Holla at him.
Black Women Matter.
What's good with it? Yeah, we up in here. Black Drama Kings podcast. Everything drama, but in the Kings fashion.
In the Kings fashion, I like that.
You know how we do.
All right, today, y'all. Today. It's Monday. Some people will call it Mental Health Monday. If we may dub it that.
It gotta be because you coming right off the weekend. Monday is the hardest day of the week for a lot of people.
Hey man, you right about that. You know, definitely.
For sure.
So
yeah, you know,
if we may, let's break down mental health and how it's perceived in the African American community. There's stigmas surrounding mental health, in my opinion, that black males are to be this just cut and dry version of a almighty man, a manly man. You know, there pretty much is no room. There's pretty much no room for weakness, softness. How do you say it? Passion. You know what I mean? A lot of our women, black women, I'm talking about, they look for us, you know, to be the leaders and to be these unbreakable forces, these, you know, like I said, symbols of just strength and roughness. And they're
right on.
You know, and that could hinder a man's mental health. You know what I'm saying? I've seen it many times, you know, even more so lately, that when a man becomes to a, you know, when he looks inside of himself and he starts to really stand up inside of himself and understand, you know, who he is and how he wants to express himself, women, they kind of, you know, they withdraw from that. You know, there isn't too much welcome.
I mean, you know, it's generational because, you know, it wasn't like that. You know, it wasn't like that years ago. I experienced it to some extent growing up, but it was as I got older. So, you know, as times changed, you know, the dynamic in my household with my mama and my stepdaddy kind of changed too. You know,
I'm the same way. You know, like I said, I was raised by you know, a male, for one, that was 2 generations ahead of me. You know, my grandfather was 65 years old. 65 years old when he came.
Shout out to Lou Jack.
Shout out to Lou Jack. You know what I'm saying?
That was the dog right there.
My boy Triple OG. You know what I'm saying? Ellsworth. You know he was 65 years old. So he wouldn't. You know they wouldn't, like I said, especially in that generation, they weren't really expressive people. You know what I mean? They weren't expressive. By any means, and it wouldn't talk to me, you know, and my brother. So, you know, I think that has been, like you said, a generation has been passed down to where, you know, we're becoming a generation where we're teaching our kids, and it's, you know, our children are ingesting all of this toughness and this just raw emotion to where, you know, it's either 0 or 10.
But you say they really wasn't expressive people, but are we expressive now? Like, it's a difference between expressive and attention seeking.
Okay, what do you mean by that?
I mean, you have certain people who take mental health real serious, and it's some people out here that really need help. Like, and they are really seeking help. Then you have those who, you know, play, you know, pity party, and, you know,
okay, you're right about that
group. You know what I'm saying?
That.
So that's not really expressing yourself. That's pretty much looking for attention in some case or another.
Yeah.
So about that pity party,
we know a few people.
Yeah, the pity party, you know. Are we talking about people who just refuse to, like, get themselves, get off their shoulders and remove themselves or eradicate themselves from whatever situation that they in.
Exactly. Before you can express your feelings, you have to first take accountability for your part that you
I
play
agree.
in all of it. So
that's one thing that I'm learning, within the last 2 or 3 years of my life, that you can't always shift the blame on somebody else.
You gotta understand.
Not always. You can't do it at all, and that's part of what's wrong with our culture. You know what I'm saying?
Blame shifting.
Yeah, you gotta pretty much understand. You gotta pretty much understand yourself before you can point the finger at somebody else. Like you gotta know
accountability.
Accountability for your own self.
Accountability. I had myself personally. I had to, I really had to just, take a step back, like I said, stand up inside of myself and just evaluate myself as a whole without any outside judgment and say, man, well, all of this can't be everything else. A lot of it has to be you.
What the old folks used to say when we was growing up. We weren't listening though. They said check yourself before you wreck yourself.
We thought
it meant something else, but when you dive deep into it, that's check yourself before you wreck yourself. Meaning you can literally be your own demise, and it happens to a lot of people. You are your own demise in a lot of the cases. You know what I'm saying? You control your own destiny. You can manifest everything in life. So you gotta, check yourself before you wreck yourself because it's bad for your health.
Yeah, you gotta pretty much understand what you doing before you can say, that nigga over there, he fucked up. I'm fucked up first before I can say anybody else fucked up. It's growth.
I'm fucked up, homie. You fucked up, but if God got us, nigga, we gonna be alright.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right on. We gonna be all right. So. Well, okay, let's back up to the whole mention of how mental health is perceived, or how it's, I guess you can say accepted, how it's received in a black household, in arrangements such as a marriage or a relationship, whatever it may be. Are men even allowed or afforded the opportunity or the platform to express themselves in the eyes of black women?
It's what is it? What's that word? It's the perception is like.
I'll tell you what I think.
Black men got to be strong in a perception of everybody's eyes, but they don't understand like that we actually deal with shit on our own. But they expect us to be the backbone and be always good, okay, and all the time.
We do, but let me tell you why. Because black men got some fucking making up to do. Just being 100.
Okay.
It's a big gap in our existence where niggas wouldn't shit. You know what I'm saying? And not a lot of them. Not all of them, I'm gonna say, but a lot of them.
A good majority.
You know what I'm saying? It's a good majority of them.
Too many.
And really that's every race. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not just speaking, but I'm just speaking from experience. So we got a lot of making up to do. So these women mad, bro, and I understand why. You feel me?
Fed up. So okay, all right. So does that mean that you say we ain't got a lot of making up to do? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we begin that process? How do we start this however we're gonna do the making up? You know what I mean? Like what has to take place? Because failure to acknowledge a man's mental well-being, his mental state, that could be damaging to a relationship.
No, it ain't. It ain't. Could be. It is. I see a lot of them every day. It is damaging.
You can literally be walking around, with a ticking time bomb in your home, ready to just go off at anything, and it may not necessarily be warranted based on what you've done. But the old saying is, there's the last straw will break the camel's back. Mm-hmm. So at any point, like I said, this proverbial time bomb could go off based on just something that may necessarily not even, it didn't warrant that type of behavior. But you got this male, this male walking around with all of this, with this burden of emotion on him that he's just ready to unleash because he hasn't been able to let, kind of, I guess you want to say, allow the gate, or let the floodgate kind of let the emotions flow at a good level. And once it do open, there's no way of closing it. Right?
It's like a sometimes we can't be caught being vulnerable. Like if we be vulnerable,
caught or there's consequences. Are you gonna be prejudged?
Or like if we being vulnerable, they go like, oh, he weak, he soft. Like we got the right to be vulnerable. We got the right to show emotion, but the perception is people see like, hey, if they show emotion, he weak, he soft. He ain't about nothing. So,
but do we always handle our emotion in the right way? Also,
no, not always.
What do you mean, Joe? Kenneth mentioned. He said Kenneth said, "Do we handle our emotions right?" What do you mean, Joe? What do you mean, no? What is it? What do you mean? Give me an example.
Like I understand. Like I was married before.
Okay.
I handled shit like in a manner of me just thinking of myself. Like before, like I wasn't thinking about nobody else in this situation. I was just thinking about me. I was not just like, forget what she talking about. Like I'm just gonna do what I need to do.
So is your way the highway?
Yeah, pretty much.
You pretty much your way of the highway. So
it was like every man for themselves type shit. In
your marriage.
Yeah.
And which is, so now, okay, can you say now that you know better than that? Like,
I've grown. Like,
grown from like, that. Okay. Shout out to growth.
Shout out to growth.
Shout out to growth.
How old I was? I was like probably 27, 26, 27 when I did that. And it was like, I was still living like I was single in a relationship.
Okay. So I think, I've never been married before, so I don't have any experience in that realm of things, but I can say that
you've been in long-term relationships, although marriage is not the same at all.
Yeah, I've been right. I've been in a long-term relationship, but the thing is, so when you're unable to convey yourself properly to your partner, to your spouse, right? Or you get signals that you're being interpreted, that your intentions are being interpreted wrong. That could create frustration. Like I said, that just goes back to there not being a platform. They're not being a platform, or there an open opportunity between you and your spouse to express each other.
Because we not communicating with an open mind. We're not communicating with an open heart. We're not communicating with the intention of acceptanceness. We not, you know what I'm saying? If that's a word. Shout out to new words.
So I think what you're trying to say is we're just talking to win and not talking to understand. Can we call it that?
Exactly. So we're not communicating a compromise.
Okay.
We're communicating we debating. We're not communicating, we debating.
It's like both parties trying to get their point across, but not trying to understand the other person when they trying to express their feelings. They just like, you gonna hear my side. You gonna hear my side, and you gonna hear my side. It's like
and not only get your point across, but make the other person conform to your views and beliefs, and how you feel, and just pretty much make them do what you want to do. I always say all the time, you're not a man if you can't have a conversation with somebody and understand where they coming from, and understand and receive what they giving to you without feeling offended, without being mad, without being without feeling like it's oh, you got to think like I think, or nigga, I can't fuck with you
because we're too
they,
fast.
They got a whole lot of people killed during back in the day. Roman Catholics killed everybody who wasn't a Catholic.
Right on, because we're
same shit.
Too fast to anger. You know, we need to learn how to be slow to anger these days. On just from a man's standpoint, there's obviously some improvement to be done on, from a women's standpoint, but we don't have any women here to defend themselves, so we're not gonna be.
And we can't speak for them.
We can't speak, but
I can. But I can't say they mad. They angry.
Right. So, do you think? Okay, in the same token, if we want to flip that coin, can we say on the other side, men are frustrated as well? Are they mad? Are we angry?
Yes,
are we,
very much so.
Okay,
yes.
so
it goes both ways.
Yeah.
So what are we gonna do? Like, what needs to be done? I think what's the affirmative action that has to be taken to fix this problem, because it is a plague in this day and age.
The first thing we need to do is we need to have healthy conversations.
Yeah.
Communication. It starts with communication.
Healthy conversations, healthy communication, to where you can allow a woman to speak. I tell people all the time, I'm married. I tell people all the time, my wife is gonna speak freely. You know what I'm saying? She gonna say what I'm not no
open
tyrant.
Forum. She has an open forum.
Exactly. This ain't no damn. I'm not no damn Fidel Castro. This ain't no Cuba.
No Adolf.
I'm not no Hitler. She gonna say whatever she want to say when she want to say it. She gonna respect me, and I'm gonna respect her. But my woman is gonna speak freely.
Hey, that's how my fiance
is. Joe? Go ahead.
Like, that's how my fiance is. She gonna say whatever she have on her heart, her mind to say, and like, I'll be like, hey.
Some niggas don't even let their women talk.
I'm not gonna stop her.
What do you mean? Like, what do you mean? Don't let them. Like you mean like prohibit them from having a voice whatsoever?
Yeah, some of these niggas don't even let their women have a voice, bro, and that's damaging. You feel me? Like, how we gotta treat it. The first thing we gotta do is treat each other better, man.
Yeah,
be good humans, right? Because a lot of us are some horrible fucking people and don't even realize it.
Can we at least treat our black women better? Damn, if you ain't gonna treat nobody good, can you at least treat your black women better? Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Your black queens.
Of course.
The ones that's taking care of our baby. First of all, having our babies.
Yeah.
That's enough. That's enough in it. That ain't enough to warrant respect.
We doing it to ourselves then. Inadvertently, not realizing it. Inadvertently, we're just completely oblivious to the effects on our actions towards each other.
We're not oblivious.
Some of y'all know what y'all doing. Some of you motherfuckers is knowing what y'all doing out here.
And I'm not perfect. We all guilty of it. Let's state that.
Like
we
I said,
all
man,
guilty of it.
I didn't have my my days, but like I said, man, more so.
We all lately, had our days.
More so lately, I've been trying to, find being slow to anger, of course.
Yeah, black women do matter.
Shout out to anger management.
Shout out to y'all, anger, man.
And we pretty much gonna have to make ourselves more and more aware of, the mental state of not necessarily just men, but everybody, obviously, but everybody around you.
We have to heal. We have
healing.
To heal.
That is healing is a very important variable in the grand equation. Healing is one thing. It's got to come first. Me personally, I prefer that. I think it's better to heal alone.
Yeah.
I think you need to heal yourself and find happiness within yourself.
I mean, yeah.
Before you go try to find it anywhere else, right?
Yeah,
but hold on. So, but do you mean healing alone, as in you gonna take the journey of healing by yourself, or while you healing, you're not gonna take on another person's, emotions?
Not taking on the burden of somebody else.
Okay, I was gonna say, because we all need, sometimes we need help to heal.
You need a support system.
The reason why we ain't healed yet is because we've been trying to do it by ourselves.
Right on, right on. That's that. You know, you that is a very good point. Um, I know for sure. I've had times in my life where I wasn't able to cope with something, or some situation was getting the best of me, and I just had to you know shut the blinds and close the doors and turn off
Yeah,
all the lights. You know what I'm
we
saying?
bury it.
Yeah, Barry. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Just by yourself. You know what I mean? Cold, dark, and damp. You know what I mean? And just kind of like it's almost like trying to break an addict off an addiction. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If that could make some, if that makes any sense, and eventually once you see it and get through it, see yourself to it and get yourself through it. You kind of you think you've mastered it, but you really haven't.
Yeah.
You think you've just because you've conquered, not necessarily conquered. You think because you've remedied whatever situation that you was in, you think you heal from it, but that may necessarily be the case because you may not have done it properly. A lot of us are not really healing properly. We just kind of are providing like
That's true.
temporary fixes to things.
That
Um,
is true.
and you think because I cried about it in a corner somewhere, and um, now I can go to work the next day and
Hmm.
smile or whatever. You think you pass it, but that may not be the case. You may
That's where you
have
get
to.
that. That's where you get that notion from that money don't buy happiness because
Right,
that
and it
person
does
is
not.
not healed.
You're right. You might
You know
money
what I'm
does not
saying?
money does not buy
That's
happiness, man. I've cried, before, by myself, and either no matter what the circumstances were, I didn't cry in the Mercedes Benz. I didn't cry at the bus stop. I didn't cry at a job making $9 an hour trying to figure out how I'm gonna make this paycheck work. So
Yeah.
it ain't the money, man.
yeah.
It ain't the money, right? But the point I was getting to is when we think we master something, or we've seen ourselves through it, that may not necessarily be the case because you might have not acknowledged all of the damaging components of whatever situation you were in. For instance, let's say you had a spouse or significant other that has hurt you in a way, and you want to go home and bury yourself in the covers and blah blah blah. When the real remedy, the real cure, is talking it out, like you said, talking it out with that person. Talking
You,
it out with
you,
the actor.
and you know what? Let me look into the camera. Niggas ain't here from their childhood. Niggas got
Right
mama
on.
issues. Niggas got daddy issues.
Mm.
Niggas got sibling issues.
Right
Niggas
on.
got big cousin issues. You know what I'm saying? Think about
You're right.
look for example. Look at let's just say scary movies. When a
Family
ghost
oriented.
when a ghost is hunting somebody, not even that. When a ghost is hunting somebody and a situation happen, what happens with that person? They always end up going back. They
To
they
the
they, they,
childhood
they
home or
to the
something like that.
memory where
Okay.
things happen. We got to put ourselves in that space where we was once vulnerable and didn't know anything and was helpless. We have to. You can't heal from. You can't heal 9-year old issues in a 35-year-old body and mind frame. You got to put yourself back in that situation.
But on
Right.
You
top
know,
of that,
you gotta think, you gotta put yourself back in that thought process. Like, okay, I'm vulnerable. I this is how I was feeling then. It's affecting me now because I didn't heal. I didn't. It wasn't fixed then. Something happened to me then as a baby when I was helpless, when I couldn't do
Hmm.
nothing. You know what I'm saying? When
Okay. Okay.
y'all seen the movie Moonlight.
Yeah. Right
When
oh
on.
he
yeah,
went
Yeah.
when
yeah,
he
yeah.
went when he went to that diner and he went back to that man house, he said, "Man, you the only person that's ever touched me like that." That man was
Yeah,
still dealing with issues from shit that happened in high school.
pretty much. Yeah.
You feel me? When he cried on that man's shoulder, he was a child again. He was back in that same space, in that same mind frame. He was back in that same, in that same area of what happened. He wasn't the dude that had built himself up hard no more. He was the same kid,
same guy,
the same guy that got affected when he was younger. You know
on
what I'm
that beach.
so it
saying?
didn't matter.
On that
So it
beach
didn't
right
matter.
there when they had
And not even the beach, Joe, because the beach was something that he wanted. I feel like, and he allowed to happen. I'm talking about when he was at school when they had to fight. I think that affected him more than discovering his sexuality.
yeah.
It was the fact that the person that he discovered his sexuality with turned his back on him and abused him, and took advantage of him and all that shit, and brought physical harm to him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's what's damaging.
Or like while you on that subject, like I don't know if y'all watched it, P Valley.
I don't
Never watched it. I heard it was a good show. Shout out to P Valley.
It's a good
Shout out to Stars, but I never.
It's a good show.
I never watched it.
It's like that that dude Lil Murder. He dealing with the same shit. Like he trying to find himself.
Find himself.
He think he a rapper, but he trying to live up to this persona. Like, I'm a rapper, I can't be a homosexual. But
why? So,
but I like this. I love this girl right here. This dude right here. So it's like it's pretty much the same shit you talking about, Ken. And he just after a while he like, hey, I'm fuck what everybody else talking about. I'm gonna do what I feel, pretty much.
I mean, at the end of the day, that's what you got to do. You got to do what makes you happy.
Yeah, do what you feel like.
Yeah, do it. Do. Okay, so that's something else now. Do what you feel makes you happy, right? Of course, but that kind of speaks to when I said about healing yourself in your own way, so to speak. Not exactly, but do we need to be healing or coming up, presenting ourselves as healed before we even intertwine ourselves?
You got to actually make sure you heal before you actually move, because if you think you heal and then something triggers it again and starts it up again, you're gonna be right back the way you started it.
Because a lot of people will try to.
But what if a lot and I feel like what you about to say is a lot of people say, "Oh, I'm not."
I think you got it.
I ain't dealing with nobody until I get myself all the way together, and I understand that. Yeah. More power to you. That's more blessings to you.
Say.
Yeah.
But what if you meet somebody for a reason? What if you meet, you know what I'm saying?
Your person with a purpose, right?
What if you meet somebody with and they whole purpose, God put them in your life was, the whole purpose was for you to heal.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You never know.
But sometimes they don't understand it until they really like, oh yeah, this girl or this dude, they really fuck with me. Like they really like trying to help me heal, get through the process of what fucked me up before. So I'm trying to do what I need to do to surpass what held me back in the beginning, so I can move forward and leave whatever's behind me in the past, so I can move forward to the future.
I look at it like this: people pay for therapy. Shout out to therapy.
Yeah.
I need to go to therapy.
People pay for therapy, and
definitely.
And you go and you talk to a stranger. I warranted. I've never been to therapy. This is what I've depicted of what therapy is. People go and they talk to a stranger about issues or whatever the case may be. What's wrong with meeting somebody, developing a bond with them, and talking to that person? And is something wrong with that?
I think it can be viewed as perhaps that this person is not a professional. Maybe that's the only thing I could probably say. That would,
but
you know what I'm saying? Like because professional, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying?
I've never been to therapy. Shout out to psychologists. I've never been in a therapy session. I don't know what it's like. I don't know what going on. I'm not knocking nobody's profession, especially somebody work hard to do, and accomplish. So I can't speak on like what you're saying, the professional part, because I don't know. All I can say is, you have to. I feel like you have to be comfortable, and I don't necessarily feel like you have to talk to a therapist, a stranger who you have no connection
No
to,
connection to no type of
in order to heal.
because even exposing yourself and making yourself putting yourself in that type of vulnerable state, that's a task in its alone, and you may
I,
not be able to open yourself up to any just random stranger,
and that's
regardless if they have a license or not.
exactly. And I was gonna say, I see why people do go to therapy, because it's easier to talk to somebody who you have no ties to, no connection to, and just
Because that person can't really effectively judge you because they don't know you,
yeah,
right?
exactly,
And
exactly.
and that person, like, they're not gonna go back and tell your friends what you just told them. They're not gonna go back and tell your family what you done told them.
Yeah,
Whatever they tell you, it's confidential. They're gonna keep it to themselves.
and we
Like,
all
you ain't
need
got.
that. And let me just say, we all could use therapy for what it is. We all could use
We can. It doesn't have to be.
therapy.
I think there's a stigma around therapy that if you want to go or you need to go, that is bad. That it makes you a bad person or you're broken in some kind of way. You know what I'm saying? You're incomplete. That's not necessarily what that means. A lot of guys, financial coaches and people who are in really, really very high positions of influence, they go to therapy just for good health. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like it's like going to the gym for them.
yeah.
Once a week, twice. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know if y'all listen to Kendrick Lamar's new album, but at the beginning of his song, one of his songs called "Father Time," which I'm assuming is his wife talking to him saying, "You really need some therapy." And he replied, "Real niggas don't need no therapy." And I think that's the depiction, that's the notion that
That is
we
how
don't,
it's perceived in our
black folks,
society that we
especially
don't
niggas,
need
we
it.
don't need no therapy, man. I don't need no therapy.
Yeah,
You
see
know what I'm
that, and
saying? Chop it
I'm
over my
33.
niggas, I
Yeah,
sip me a drink, if I smoke, I'm gonna, spark one up. What I need
and the
therapy for?
problem
I'm
with that
good.
is when you confide in somebody that knows you or they have some sort of support towards you, they're not necessarily gonna condemn your action, right?
Exactly.
A lot of times you can talk to people and they will support. Right or wrong, they're gonna ride. You understand what I'm
Like you
saying?
said, man, I think I need some therapy. I said, shit, I go with you.
Right on.
Yeah,
You know
You
what I'm
know,
yeah.
saying?
Like the
That's an
caveat on
example of
top of that.
support.
Like the
Say it
caveat on
again.
top of that. Like, how females, they go on girls trips
Right,
to
right.
to go together and release energy, tension, and all that, just to relax. Hey, we need to do that too. Like,
What we
we
gonna
we
call it? What we gonna call it? How you say it? Male
well,
intervention trip.
what a bro trip. You know what I'm saying? Or
I
however you want
think
to call it.
I think that's a very good idea. But like it was stated in the beginning of this episode here,
they
are
gonna
we
call you
really
gay.
ready? Are we really ready as men to stand up? With the spotlight on you in the limelight and prepare to have all of your travesties exploited on a silver platter. Are you really prepared for that, or are you gonna be fast to anger and easy to offend?
Oh, I'm
I
prepared.
think
Like I've grown. Like, I'm an open book. You can ask me anything, and I can tell you anything that I didn't been through in my 35 years, my 36 years.
a
I was
lot of
about to
I
people,
got
say, nigga,
a lot of men aren't though, right? A lot of men are not ready for that shit. A lot of women are not ready for that shit. Don't nobody want to hear that shit. You went up there, you supposed to be my best friend in the whole wide world, and you done told me that I done some wrong shit, and I'm finna get mad, and I'm ready to knock over all the damn styrofoam plates and the glasses and shit like that.
what it'll be
And that's
what
the problem because
it'll be
somebody done
what
taught you. Say it
it'll
again.
be it'll be hip hop of with a hip hop of Atlanta or hip hop of
Yeah,
LA throwing bottles and shit at
niggas not
everybody.
ready for that beat. Like niggas is
shaking
not
the
ready for that.
table.
Yeah.
Niggas is not ready. Niggas is not ready to be put on blast like that. You know what I'm saying? Niggas don't want to hear that shit, and that's what the
You ain't
fucking
lying,
problem is.
man.
That's why niggas is out here exploding.
Like,
You know what I'm saying?
you could tell me what I fucked up on 10 years ago. Like, I know I done fucked up on some shit. 10 years ago. You can tell me I fucked up shit right now. Hey, I was like,
Facts, because I remember we was at band practice one time and you was slacking. You and JoJo. I had to get on y'all ass.
you ain't never slack. So you ain't never slack.
I mean,
no, sir.
But that's just how it is though. Like, are you really prepared to take judgment? You know what I mean? Or can you effectively pass judgment?
Shout out to the ocean of soul, man.
A lot of people can't effectively pass judgment, right?
Nah, a lot of people can't.
A lot of people just passing they dirty fucking habits. You know what I'm saying, on each other. You know what I'm saying?
But we wasn't raised to. You know what I'm saying? That's a trait you develop throughout life. You ain't
born with it.
You don't get taught that. You don't get taught that as a youngster. People gonna judge you. Learn how to deal with it. No, we sheltered. Your mama shelter you. Your daddy shelter you. They want at least amount of shit to happen to you until you get grown. And then when you get grown, and then when one little thing happen, the shit hit the fan because you've been sheltered your whole life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I grew up like my emotions. I never dealt with it. I just let it roll off the shoulder, and I just go on by the next move. I ain't never like dealt with no emotion like that before. Even in the military.
Emotional trauma.
Man, let me tell you, I got a story. I got a story. Something happened to me. I think I was in 8th grade, 9th grade. Shout out to my mama. Love her to death. Shout out to my stepdaddy. Love him to death.
Family.
Something, man, I can't even tell you the girl name. I think somebody broke up with me or something. I may have been like 13 years old. And your girlfriend break up with you when you're 13. That's the end of the world to you.
Devastating.
Man,
devastating, B.
Man, I'm going crazy. I'm crying.
You don't even want to go back to school.
Nigga, snot coming down my nose, nigga, all type of shit.
Oh, you was really fucked up, wasn't you?
Bro, and it's crazy because I don't even remember who the person is, but I remember the story because I remember what happened in that situation because it stuck with me all these years. My mama looked at me like I was a damn fool.
Like you just
no emotion, not a care in the world. I'm talking about gave me that.
Like, bro, you in middle school. Chill out.
Like you not only that, just the fact that she didn't care.
Yeah. You crying to her. Mama, she broke up with me. She was like, I don't want to hear none of that.
My stepdaddy had to tell my mama, you damaging that boy.
Damn.
That's not what you do. Let him let him feel his emotions. Like comfort him. Let him know you give a damn about what just happened. Don't just sit there and ridicule what's going on. Like,
wow.
You know what I'm saying? So and that's something that always stuck with me. You know what I'm saying? My mama, she looked at me like I was
She looked at you like you were a damn fool for even considering that to be something worthy of crying over.
Exactly. But my stepdad had to. He was basically my comforter at the time because, he pulled me to the side and said, "As a man, I know how you feel. As a man, because niggas get their heart broke. Niggas, niggas feel. Niggas have feelings too."
And they convey it in very adverse ways too.
Exactly. I seen my uncles get upset. I seen my uncles get their heart broke. I seen my stepdaddy feel a type of way about my mama. So, I know that, and because of him, and because of them, and because of those situations, I know it's okay for a man to have feelings. For a man to express, what's going on, even though it may not have always been expressed in the right way.
Yeah. But
that's up to you to grow up and learn, how to deal with shit and how to handle shit that come to you, especially dealing with women because we ain't got nobody else.
Right.
I got a story.
Go ahead, Joe.
I know Ken remember this. We coming from band practice. I'm taking him home in my car, and we like what's that street you used to stay on?
Fernet.
The other one, the
Peachtree.
Yeah, it was Fernet.
Yeah, Peachtree and Fernet. Shout out to the north side.
No, you was coming down Peachtree.
Main Street. It was on. I think it was on Tidwell.
You talking about? No, you talking?
Yeah. Is this Tidwell and Lockwood? We was coming down.
Shout out to the north though. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to the north.
I'm taking him home. We come from band practice. We at the light. Like we at the light right here. The cop, he's on this side right here. So the light turned green. I make that left.
Man.
To go on this street. I make a left. Like, mind you, nobody was behind me when I turned that left on Fernet. Soon as I get to over there by the house, 4 cop cars.
What the fuck?
All behind us. And we're like, where the fuck they come from?
We was in that Buick that Joe bought from across the street from my grandma's house.
Yeah, I remember the Buick, brown one, the Sable.
The brown one, the one that they had no brakes.
Oh yeah, I mean, motherfucker.
Soon as I pull up at his house, it's 4 cop cars behind us. We like, what the fuck going on? I was like, I live here. They was like, nah, you don't live here. You don't live here. Like, who house is this? Like, bro, this is mama house. This is his house. He got the key to the house right now.
Man told us we'll take y'all and beat y'all ass.
Yeah, and they like,
God damn.
Hey, they rummaged through my car.
I would say something, but I'm not gonna say it because we're not on that type of time.
Hey, bro, they rummaged through my car. They tore up everything, and like they not even supposed to be searching my car. They not even supposed to go through his backpack. They went through this man's backpack.
Found my pistol.
Found his pistol, and it was like they emptied the clip in the back seat, and they got another call on they radio. They're like, we would take y'all in, but we got another call. They say, don't make no moves. Just stand there until we drive off.
And threw my bullets in the bushes and shit.
Yeah. I
think you called me after that.
I was like,
yeah, because
Joe was about to come to my house after.
I was nervous for Joe because I told him, I'm like, bro, just spend the night in my house because you never know what's gonna happen when you get down the street. You know what I'm saying? Now you dolo. Like now you don't even you not anything can happen, bro. You know how but speaking on healing and situations and mental health, you joined the army after that.
Yeah, Joe joined the army after that. What did you have to say to that about that, Joe?
You joined the army after that.
What was you getting?
Like at? It was like I had to because it was like
a difference.
No, I couldn't jump. I couldn't get back in school.
I remember the conversation we had, man.
And then recession. It was 2009.
Was it that night?
No, it wasn't that night.
It was later on. I
want to say it was like when a job had fell through, and you know, I kind of felt for my boy because you know I've been in that situation, but I wasn't. In my opinion, we was living 2 different extremes because Joe was still, you know, at home with his mama. I wasn't able to go home to my mama house at that time. You know what I'm saying? So
okay. Right.
You know, but I did feel for him because, you know, I was there. I was in that situation. You know, I didn't have shit, you know.
Yeah, because it was 2009. That's when the recession had hit. I couldn't get a job, couldn't get back in school. Like, I had just got pulled over for like a warrant for my car. So I sat like 2 or 3 days in jail. So I like got him, man, I can't do this shit no more, bro. I got to do something. And the day I got out, I called a recruiter. I'm like, let me go talk to these boys and see at least what my options is. And then when I did it, like, you qualify over the phone, come in and take a practice ASVAB. So I did.
You pretty much reached a breaking point. I think that's what you're describing here.
Yeah, it was like shit.
You was at rock bottom pretty much.
Yeah, shit was too stagnant, man. One shit moving, bro.
I ain't gonna lie, man. You know, and it's crazy because I'm getting a little emotional. You know, shout out to friendship, shout out to brotherhood. When my boy told me he was going to the military, bro, I was fucked up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. It
might didn't seem like it, but you know, I was sad, bro, because I'm like, damn, you know, my boy leaving and shit. You know, I'm here, even though you know, still was kicking it with Roscoe.
Yeah, we dig deep.
You know, Montreal. You know, I was like, damn, man, this man was together every day since 2005.
Same shit. Yeah, like I was at
You know what I'm saying?
I was at Albert's house like every damn day.
I think he came.
on the
I
Southwest.
want to say Joe came to my house that night, the night of when you got pulled over.
Yeah,
I don't know.
like,
you know, typical. You know what I'm saying? Typical
like,
procedure.
Like
yeah,
I
but
was
it wasn't typical.
Like I was at
well,
your house.
Yeah, damn right. You right about that. That shit
like when I
was not
decided to join the
typical at all.
military. When I decided to join the military, I was at Albert's house like all the time on the Southwest.
Oh
That's
yeah,
when he
yeah.
had that's when he had that damn Mustang.
That was off of man. We both lived there. Me and Kenneth lived there.
Yeah, I had lived
I was
after
there.
that.
I think I was there 09 or 2000. Yeah, like 2009, 2010. Off West Park, right there off West Park.
Yeah, cause I left in June 2010.
Shout out to 5401 Chimney Rock.
5401 Chim Dog.
Yeah, that's when he had that Mustang.
Yeah, man, we was fucking wilding out back then, Joe.
Yeah,
that's when he had that stinky ass dog. That nigga had that.
Hey, man,
that nigga apartment. But that nigga apartment used to be so fucking funky, dog. He talking about, yeah, you know, they gotta come clean the carpet. No, nigga, throw that fucking dog away.
Hey,
throw the apartment away.
Nice was pissing all over the motherfucking walls and shit. The motherfucking pants wasn't doing shit.
Hey, y'all remember when y'all boys remember when I did that?
Said the pants ain't finna do shit. It damn so didn't.
Hey, y'all boys remember when I did that Buffalo Wild Wing challenge?
I remember that we was off of we was over there. That was off of by
it was a West Park. West Park,
Royal
not
Oaks.
West Park, West Thomas and something else.
It was West Thomas near Derry Ashford. I know you talking about.
Hey, that shit had me fucked up.
And you left after that.
Yeah, like
I think that was the last night you was here.
Nah, that wasn't the last night.
That was when he came back from like basic training or some shit.
That was before I left.
Oh, it was before you left?
That was before you
I left. Yeah, cause I know before I had a party for my birthday before I left too downtown.
I don't remember that.
I had a party.
We did something I can't remember, man. Before we went to the army,
we do a lot of fucked up shit.
But you know, I mean, hey, but
shout out to friendship, man.
We not, you know what I'm saying? We not where we not how we used to be. You damn sure not where we used to be mentally, you know, emotionally. I've progressed, and I'm still growing inside myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm still progressing
every day.
You know, every single day. You know, one thing about I think the first thing that I had to really deal with was my anger. You know, I'm learning to be slow to anger and not letting other people control and allow to allow them to have power over you, by way of frustration and anger.
Yeah.
And, the rest of it just falls in line. You know what I'm saying? Offense is another big one for a lot of people. They're too easily offended. When a lot of times you just unaware. You're unaware of the consequences of your actions. You know what I'm saying? Respect, especially down here in the South, respect is a big thing to a lot of people. And some of us are really really and truly just lacking understanding as far as respect is concerned. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, because I've been to a lot of places where, how we grew up down south saying yes sir, yes ma'am.
Right on.
I've been to a lot of places. They just say yeah, no. I was like,
yeah, but for them, they not disrespecting you. They just talking.
Yeah, they get on me. They're like, you say yes ma'am, like.
Man, it's crazy. Some places feel like as long as I don't disrespect you, that's a sign of respect.
Yeah.
See, and that's we got to get rid of that type of behavior.
So,
because not acknowledging, you're right. Catch-22, not acknowledging that you have to show respect towards somebody is a problem in itself.
Mm-hmm.
If you really feel like that you can move and be around certain people and don't have to have a certain level of respect, even towards this generation of we losing a lot of respect towards elders. You understand what I'm saying? Like, even especially on the internet, social media, man, you should see this dragon culture has gotten like it's like a fucking plague. That shit, like motherfuckers. Yeah. I'm talking about people like I think Mike Tyson said social media has made it to where people can be disrespectful towards other people that would do considerable damage to them physically.
Yeah, like the
you understand what I'm saying?
Like a couple of days ago,
I agree.
At the,
there's no respect, man.
Like a couple of days ago at at Takeoff's his funeral.
I think they had it was in Atlanta, right?
Yeah,
rest in peace, Takeoff.
Rest in peace, Takeoff, man.
They had at the Atlanta Hawks.
Takeoff.
Rest in power, King.
They had at the Atlanta Hawks arena, and it was like no video or recording or anything.
First thing they do
for the family. First thing they do, record it, post it on the internet.
That shit there, man. That's motherfucker put up. I mean, even when it was reported and how it was reported, we're not gonna make it too much about that incident, the tragedy, but you know, just how it was reported and how it was shown to the rest of the world was by way of fucking video camera.
Because you want to know why? Because it's too many people there that don't care, didn't know, or ain't really worried about this man like that. You know what I'm saying?
We're gonna touch on that. We've trying to, you know, like I said, I know we had a conversation about it, and you advised against that. We shouldn't just leave it alone for now, and I agree. Mm-hmm. You know, so we're gonna touch on it. We're definitely not overlooking it. Y'all look forward to that episode with the whole situation surrounding the Migos and the rapper artist take off. Excuse me. So that's another story for another day, another discussion for another day. But as far as mental health goes, man, you know, with it needs to be moved up the rung. It needs to be moved up the list of priorities when it comes to.
It damn near need to be number one, because without mental health, you can't do nothing.
You can't function. A lot of people can't function, you know, if they dog die. You know what I'm saying? They have emotional outcries over animals.
Like if anybody got a chance to be able to talk to a therapist or anything just to get anything off their chest, go ahead. Don't be ashamed to do so.
Oh man, you know, you can do something that's free. You can write something in the comments, man, and we can go through the comments and we can talk to us. Shit, you know.
Right.
Talk to us.
Always an open ear, you know. I never understood, you know, I don't know if y'all recall back in our school days when a lot of the counselors would say, I have an open door policy, you know, I'm an open door and things like that. And it's kind of like, you know, like Kenneth mentioned to me one time, I mentioned I need to go to therapy. He was like, shit, you could talk to me. You know what I'm saying? And I never really, you know, understood that concept until I was older about how, like I said, the counselors would, you know, I have an open door policy, you know, my door is always open. Hey man, you can just talk to somebody. You know what I mean?
Shout out to the Drummer Kings podcast, man. If you feeling any type of way, you know, we're gonna have reels on TikTok. Follow us on TikTok. You know, subscribe to us on YouTube. You know, the YouTube is new. The TikTok is new. We getting up there. If you have issues that's making you feel some type of way, man, write it in the comments. You know, we gonna read the comments.
There are lines, you know.
Yeah, we'll reply to you.
Lines, you know.
We're gonna get back on the next episode and we can talk about it. You know, we can give our inputs on whatever situation that y'all hit us up about. So, you know, all we can do is, you know, be 100 with y'all, and you know, that's it. But you know, don't not talk to somebody.
You know, reach out,
talk to somebody,
get a hold of somebody, man. You know what I mean? You can't be walking, like I said, we can't be walking around here. We done with that. Ticking time bombs and holding shit in and all this and that, holding grudges and sweeping shit under the rug. Nah, man. Say something, man. Speak on that shit, man. Bring that shit up, man.
It's like men helping men.
You know what I mean?
We here for one another.
Say, hey man, you say something. You know, you see something, say something. You dig? You ain't alone. Damn sure ain't gotta be, at least. You know what I mean? For what it's worth. What you think?
Nobody ever alone, man. Somebody going through something every day, you know, and sometimes we going through the same shit. You know what I'm saying? So, you know,
be kind and be mindful, man.
Lend me your ear. I'll lend you mine and shit. We might can figure out something together.
I mean, y'all go
through shit every day. I'm always trying to figure out how I can make more money.
Right on. I think
that's
that's everybody's problem. That's everybody's problem, man. Man, I'm so glad y'all tuned in with us, Drama Kings podcast with this episode. This is, episode number 2 of many. We have plenty of topics. We're trying to drop a video every week. We're going to have reels rolling through the TikTok. Shout out to Drama Kings TikTok at Drama Kings podcast. If y'all got a chance, follow us over there. We're going to have content moving over there daily. If not weekly, but check out the YouTube channel Drama Kings podcast, and we will be dropping an episode every week. But for now, we're gonna get out of here. I'm your host, Alvis. My main man's Kendall and Joe here with him. Y'all shout him out, man. Take him home,
man. You know what I'm saying? Let's just keep it going. We trying to start something new, and we just we here for everybody, all walks of life. Hey. Black women matter, man.
Shout women matter.
God is dope.
100. Your boy Joe come through. Let's put that crown on. Let's be kings. Kings fashion. Let's do it.
Right on.
Let's get it.
All right, y'all. We're going to get up on out of here. Peace.